listen, I was in school with my kids on my back. Like I was in school with my kids in the back row because my teacher, was very understanding. But I did it, and that was another thing. Like I wanted them to see, yes, mommy's taking care of you, but mommy also has goals because that's gonna allow us to have a better life, and yeah, I did it.
Welcome back to What's Up With You, everybody. Tonight, we got my home girl, Julie. Her handle is at Dance with Julie. Today's show is brought to you by the I Am Chels X Store. To support the movement, go to www.iamchelsxstore.com for inspirational merch, apparel, and more. Julie, we're going to talk about your new phase of life tonight, right?
Yes.
So, but before we jump into that, I always ask the title of the show, what's
All
up
right.
with you? What's up with you?
So I am in Florida, South Florida, and I teach dance, but I also work in HR. So I deal with, employees every day. And then on the weekends, I love teaching. I teach salsa, and I've been doing it for a long time. Okay, you got moves. I teach virtually too.
That's my that's my salsa dance. I gotta put the fingers in the camera so you can see
I
it.
don't know what the fingers do, but
I don't
okay.
know. That's funny. That's funny. All right. So,
um,
what else you got for me? Tell me all about
um,
yourself. Anything you want the people to know before we get into your life, your new
so,
phase.
yeah, I'm a homeowner. So I just bought a house, and actually, before we got on the live, I was trying to fix my air conditioner. Um, so I'm learning about doing maintenance and putting picture frames on walls. I never did that before, so I'm learning how to paint. You know, do different things, and every day it's a new situation when you're a homeowner. So I'm learning.
You know where you got to go to get that information, right?
YouTube.
YouTube University, baby. Get you a little level of them pictures. It'd be perfect.
YouTube. And lately I've been looking on TikTok because they do like the quick um, DIY videos.
Yeah.
And I get inspiration from there. So it's just very interesting. And I realize that I am of a certain age now because I'm excited about like a new vacuum cleaner. I'm excited about a new fridge. And yeah.
Yeah. I remember the first time that happened to me. I was at Walmart and I was like, "Ooh, I need some deodorant." And I was like, wait a minute, yo. Like, am I really about to get excited about some new
Yeah.
deodorant? And I'm in the joint trying to sniff different. Like, they got some new scents or whatever. I'm like, oh man, this is not good. This is not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So things that I had no idea I was interested in, or I had so many choices, like a rug. It took me about 3 weeks to buy a rug for my front door because there's so many options. And I was like, why would I be excited about buying but I love my rug.
Yeah, that's how it is. That's
Yeah.
how it is. So let's jump into it. Um, in our pre-show conversation, you talked about this new phase of life that you're in, and it made me think about you seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness.
Yes.
So you
Great
know how
movie.
every phase he has a title for. So what
Mhm.
title would you give this phase of your life?
Rebirth.
Okay, explain yourself.
So, I started working at a very young age, probably illegal, but family business. And then I had my children at age 19. So now I'm about to be 40 and they're grown. Like my kids, they drive, they have a life. And I've spent the last 20 plus years taking care of people and finding solutions for whatever the issue is. And now, like, I'm like, okay, I got all this time on my hands. I feel like rebirth, like starting over, like, what do I like? What can I do for me? And I've never had the time to think about that. And
Mm.
now I do because like my kids barely call me. Like I got to chase them down. Like just say hi to me, because they're busy. One is a senior, the other one's in college, and they really don't need unless it's money or food. They really they really don't need nothing from me anymore. And it's weird. It's a weird feeling because I used to. They were my purpose for for as long as I can remember.
Hmm.
And now it's like, okay, now I have time for myself. So what am I doing? So that's what it feels like.
So you reach the point where you come to the realization that our kids are users.
Yeah, absolutely.
They are. They're users.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I have a ton of friends that, their kids like now it's the fall and kids are off to college and I listen to their stories like, okay, what do you do now with your time, And one friend told me today, find something that I'm passionate about and, dive into that. And I'm like, okay, I'm passionate about dancing and I'm passionate about my kids, but I'm already dancing. So I think I am going to reinvent myself in the dance world, maybe,
Mhm.
and try to develop it even more now that I have the time.
Okay, cool. So other than finding out that your kids are users and being excited about your outdoor, it's an outdoor rug, right?
It's
Is it
an indoor rug.
okay? Being excited about your indoor rug. Did you put the little things on the bottom so that it doesn't move, or are you good?
No, I had no idea. I'll write that down because I had, and the corners flip, and I'm like,
That's what I'm talking
what are
about.
these?
What, you got to get the
I
little
don't.
things that go on the bottom that hold it flat.
I had no idea. So now
Okay.
I know.
So my question is this though: other than those things, what have you found to be the good parts about the rebirth part of your life?
I have time to really process like what I want to do and like how I want my day to go. Usually, or in the past, it was really all about the kids. So I never stopped to think, okay, I want to do this for myself today. It was always like gymnastics, dance, or cheer, or ROTC. It was always, what the kids got going on. And I never really gave thought to what I got to do. So now when I wake up, I'm like, okay, I got time. I can slow down. You know, I can cook. I can bake. I really have time to do all those things, which it seems like so minute, but I feel very peaceful and not as chaotic as my life was for a long time.
So you get that unexpected like silence. You ever just
Hmm.
I don't hear nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And I look around now and I'm like, okay, this is good, right? Usually when you got kids, silence means what's going on.
Like, hold up, where them kids? You don't hear them kids? Like, what they doing? You know they doing something they're not supposed to.
Yeah, but now like the kids are here and like one is on her phone, the other one's and it's quiet. And I like this. I like this peacefulness that allows me to think and really try and plan out, to the best of my abilities what else I'm gonna do, in the next 5 years of my life.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. What would you say is the negative aspect of the rebirth aspect of your life?
Adjusting to not being needed.
Ooh,
Yeah,
tell me about that.
because I felt like I had purpose, right? Because my kids
Mm,
always needed something, so I was like, I'm super mom, And now I kind of feel like I'm just mom, like without the super part. So getting just adjusting to not having to fix a problem or find a solution to something, and letting go, like really allowing them to grow into whatever it is that they're planning on doing without me having to mold so much of their life anymore.
Hmm, that's interesting. Does it make you so? Is this the first time that you're living by yourself?
Yeah.
So I have an ideology that everybody, at least within our American social construct, I don't know about other places, but based on how things are here and how much you really have to depend on yourself, I have this ideology that everyone should live by themselves at least for a year or two so that you can know that you can survive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how does it feel to be like on your own for the first time?
It's scary, but when I can fix my AC, I feel accomplished.
What'd you do to fix the
Yeah,
AC?
I called the AC guy.
You made it seem like you was down there with a
No, but I
screwdriver.
physically I followed his instructions like
Oh,
with
okay. He
my
talked
own
you through it.
hands. He talked me through it because
Oh,
normally I'm like, "Can you come look at this? Because I don't know nothing." And he was like, "Let's go at it one step at a time." And that's when it has to do with like handiwork, I, I have no clue. But now I'm like, I'm gonna go on YouTube and put some holes in these walls until I figure it out. And when I see the end product, I feel accomplished because I did it on my own.
yeah, I know the feeling too. I'm not a handy guy. I'm not very handy. So say I buy something for the kids and I think it's coming put together, but then I have to put it together. And it's like the
Yeah.
little boy in me, I look at my wife and be like, I put it together, you know. It's like I'm looking for
Right.
that validation. Like, oh, you did
For
a good
the
job.
validation, right?
Good job.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's one thing that I have learned, like being by myself, is I'm trying to figure it out before, phoning a friend. And the house is still standing, so I'm doing pretty good.
You got a single family?
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's major.
Thank
That's
you. Yeah.
like you
And
made.
and it took years, because I was like saving up, but I think it was the fear of, can I really do this by myself? And
Mhm.
when COVID hit, I was like, okay, we need a plan. Like it's the end of the world kind of stuff. Like we need to figure this out. But yeah, and now every day that I pull in my driveway, oh, you have no idea. I am so proud. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing.
I feel you. I feel you. I think I bought my first house at 28,
Wow.
28 or 29, which was really an accomplishment because I think my father bought his first house um in his late 30s
Hmm.
or early 40s. So he set me up to be able to do what he did earlier on. So that's something, I appreciate about my parents. One of the
Yeah.
questions I have, I was going in order, but it kind of fits, is are your kids in college? They're off to college now?
Well, one of them, my youngest is a senior in high school,
Oh, okay.
and my oldest is in college. Yep.
Yeah. So how does it feel to, and the audience, I'm gonna get to your questions. I got one pen and another one that I want to ask. But matter of fact, I'll just do it now. Um, Jean Neg, 1957, she says, when you live alone, you start talking to yourself, and now you know why I do it. So I'm assuming that's your friend, you know her? Can you hear me, Julie? You can hear me now. Okay.
So since before I lived alone.
Oh, nothing wrong
So,
with
no.
okay. Next level talks here. Do you think things will be easier in your life if you had a partner?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that for me, um, it's a crutch. Like now that I'm by myself, I have to figure it out. Before, when I had a partner, I was just like, hey, this broke. Can you fix it? I'll cook while you go ahead and fix that, But
Hmm.
now it's like, okay, I gotta cook and I gotta fix whatever it is. And I think, especially for women, I think I didn't realize how valuable it was to know how to change a light bulb or to know how to use a drill or something because it's a survival, it's a skill, it's a skill. And I'm getting used to it, and I'm figuring it out. But yes, it would be easier if I had a partner. But I also don't take away from figuring it out because I don't have another choice, pretty much.
Do you think do you think that you would have tried to learn certain things sooner had you known you would be in this particular aspect of your life?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
really took advantage of the fact that I had someone there and he was very handy. So it was like, oh, something broke. Oh, he got it. Like I didn't even think twice. And now I wish I would have maybe paid attention or, he did try to be like, let me show you how to put up a picture frame. And I would be like, you got it. Like I ain't even gonna worry about that. But now I'm like, man, I should have paid attention. But I'm learning.
So, how does it feel to have, that was a question I had before. How does it feel to know that, like, because I have a 19-year-old, so I kind of knows how it feels. How does it feel to know that you set your children up for success to the degree that you could?
That was my number one goal. Like before I move on to the next life, I need my children, especially I have two girls, to understand, especially living in this country, the importance of being independent to a certain degree and making your own way. Like that was the whole reason why I bought this house, really. Is if I die, they're good, and they've already got instructions, they already understand what they need to do. And that was real. I feel like that was my life's purpose. So if something happens to me tomorrow, I I feel accomplished.
Mm. So you have girls.
Hmm.
So how do we teach our daughters to be independent enough to survive on their own if they have to, while still knowing how to be submissive in ways that men need women to be submissive? Like, what do you think about that?
I tried to use myself as an example,
Hmm.
and when I'm making a big decision, I include them. Like they're old enough now. Maybe when they were younger, I would have not. But like when I made the decision to buy this house, I brought them and I showed them, and they couldn't understand. Like, Mom, why are you buying a house? We're fine. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like we were living in someone else's home. Like at any moment, we could have been out in the street. And that was so important for me to show them the process and what it took to get to here and the reason why. So I have a lot of conversations with them about why it's important for them to think about their future and how, they have the ability to set their lives up based on the choices they make, how they want it. And yeah, we talk about it a lot. And also they did experience um life on somebody else's dime, kind of, so now my daughter's like, Mom, why are you fixing the AC? Just call somebody. And I'm like, no, we need to learn how to do this.
Yeah.
So those situations, I kind of bring them into it so they can see the differences and
Hmm.
hopefully, start developing their choices based on what they're seeing that's happening right now.
Okay, so you had kids at what you said, 18 or 19?
19,
And how old is your oldest?
20. She'll be
Okay, so
20.
your 20-year-old calls you. hypothetical, like the Sam Michelle show. Your 20-year-old calls you and says, "Mom, you're gonna be a grandma." How do you feel about it? Oh. Oh God.
And you know what? Like, I wouldn't change any of the decisions I made, because my kids are my blessing. But I just feel like if you held out just a little bit longer and really got out there in the world, and experienced life a little bit more. I mean, children are a blessing, guaranteed. However, it's a longer path when you have kids at a young age. It's just a bigger hurdle to cross, So I really tried to steer them towards, okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to work? Do you want to go to school? And I kept them busy since they were little for a reason. Like, since they were 3 and 4, they were too busy, and that was the purpose. So that way, maybe at an older age and a different stage in life, the boys can come in and push it out a little bit longer.
I'm with you. So if you could, I'm assuming, did you go to college?
I did.
You got a degree?
Yes.
What you got a degree in?
Business administration.
That's what's up.
It took me a while, Listen, I was in school with my kids on my back. Like, I was in school with my kids in the back row because my teacher, was very understanding. But I did it, and that was another thing. Like, I wanted them to see, yes, mommy's taking care of you, but mommy also has goals because that's going to allow us to have a better life, and yeah, I did it.
Yo, that's major. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How long did it take you?
8 years. Because
Wow.
I was running a business and going to school. Like, I remember I had 2 cell phones in my class, and my business teacher was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Sorry, I gotta take this call." I gotta take this call, and I would step out, and then I would come back and take notes. And at the end of the semester, I explained to him, I run a business, and I'm just trying to catch up and get my degree, so that way I have something to fall back on, once we no longer have this business. And he really commended me and pushed me and was like, go as far as you can, because a lot of people go to school and they have no idea what they want to do when they get out of school, whereas me, I was backwards. I was already running this business, and I needed this piece of paper just in case, so yeah.
Man, that is truly, truly impressive. How old is your youngest?
She'll be 18 next month.
Wow, so they're pretty close together. So you had both of them while you were in school
I was like back to back, and that was it.
Wow.
My grandmother always told me to have enough kids that I could carry by myself, and that's what I did. I had one on each arm, and that was it.
Okay. I'm jumping ahead, but at what point did you begin doing the salsa thing? Were you salsaing with the kids?
I was teaching dance at 14. So I had
Really?
that business. I had that business. And then, I went through high school, whatever. Then I got pregnant. I was still teaching. Yeah, dancing is a major part of my family anyway. And I started taking it seriously when I started getting booked to the point where after school every day, I had to go teach. And my mom was like, wait a second, we need to be making money off of this thing. So that's how that started for me.
Well, so you started dancing pretty young. That's what's up.
Well, actually, in the dance world, that's old.
Oh, you started at 14.
I started making money at 14.
I like that.
Yeah, I started making money at 14.
My man Patrick said my salsa is really ugly, but that's all. Like, I'm gonna take. That was one of the questions I was gonna ask you when I got to the dance portion, but I can ask you now. I know you teach classes because it's on your IG. Do you do virtual classes? Like, can you teach me how to salsa?
Absolutely. Get your wife and even your kids if you want, and we will set a session and you will have so much fun. And it's a skill that you can take all around the world because people dance everywhere. You know, music is
What do I do with
universal.
what do I do with my arms when I salsa? Do I?
Not that. I don't know what that is. Yeah, not that. Don't do that.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. So, I wanted to ask you this. So, to me, music is like a time machine, right? Like you hear a
Mhm.
song and it makes you reminisce, right?
Mhm.
So, you're in this new phase of your life. What songs or genres of music are you going to hear later on that you're hearing now that you're going to hear later on that are going to make you think about, like, I remember when my kids had just left and I just bought my house and I had that rug and I fixed the AC. But what are those songs or artists or genres of music that's going to time travel you?
So so I don't really listen to radio too much.
Hmm.
Um, but I absolutely know that what's going to remind me of this time in maybe like 10 years is gonna be Cardi B, uh, Meg Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj. My daughters love Nicki Minaj. Um, and who's that other one? I forgot. I forgot who the other one is. But that in 10 years, when I hear this music, I'm gonna be like, oh, this is what my kids were listening to.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. How do you bridge? Well, let me ask you this. What would you call the last phase of your life? What would you title that one?
um, the word that comes to mind is the struggle.
Mm.
That's the word that comes to mind. And it's not like a literal struggle because financially, thank God we were good, but it's like dealing with um pre-adolescent and then the hormones and trying to have the right tone when trying to get a message across to the kids and not being too assertive. Like for me, because I was working at such a young age and I was in management, I would say, okay, I need you to do this, blah, 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 and people would just do it. But with my kids challenged me. So I would call that phase, the struggle where it was like, it wasn't really a power struggle, but it was more about me learning how to control not going to jail because this kid tried to talk back to me like those kind of things and now I feel like I'm just letting go, like that's what it feels like now.
That's what's up. So, how do you bridge, or how does dance help you bridge the gap or the chasm between the struggle, and the rebirth?
um when I'm dancing, I feel like I'm in a different space. Like I don't have to, like, there could be like a fire outside. If I'm dancing, I'm not worried about what's happening out there. All my attention, all my focus, goes to the dance class. And that really helps me find another purpose, I guess. So for me, dancing just alleviates stress and concern. And, I know I have an issue. I know my AC's broke, but I'll deal with it when like, I'm not thinking about anything other than being in that moment and enjoying myself.
Mm, that's what's up. That's what's up. So, we're gonna ask a couple questions on dance, right?
Okay.
They're kind of hypothetical, but it will just continue like it's a conversation. But I like to do these. You only get one more opportunity questions. So you get
Okay.
to dance to one song one more time. What song are you dancing to?
Oh, wow. Um, one song, one more time.
Yep. After this, you can't dance no more. After that, you get one more dance. However long the song is, that's how long your last dance is.
Um, so it's a Spanish song,
Okay.
and it's probably from like the early 60s. And it's called Chan Chan.
Chan Chan,
Yeah.
CHN, CHAN,
See? Yes. Hmm.
Chan Chan. I'm gonna have to look that up. Somebody look
Look
that
it
up.
up. It's a great song. And it really takes me back in time, that song.
Mm.
So that's probably the one. All my students know, like when we play that song in class, it's a party.
Oh, you put it on. You put it on. I could do the. I could do my salsa. I ain't gonna show my hands no more.
Your head is bobbing a
I
little bit.
could, you hit it with woo. Oh, I tell them I'm Dominican. I'm brown enough to be Dominican, baby. They don't know about. I don't know where my people come from.
Oh.
So we listening. So you dancing to Chan Chan. Where in the world? What's the setting of this moment?
Oh. Hmm. So, it will absolutely have to be Puerto Rico on the beach, evening time, like sunset. It's just, I'm Dominican, but for whatever reason, when I'm in Puerto Rico, I feel so at home, and so at peace. So that's where it would be.
Mm, okay, so you're a dancer. You teach dance, right? I'm not familiar with the dance circles,
Okay.
but if what would be like the ultimate dance performance that you could do? So like say like I don't know, like Broadway or something like that. What would be the ultimate thing?
For me, it would be Madison Square Garden in New York. That would be like, I can die the next day.
I all about.
Yeah, definitely Madison Square Garden. Mhm.
Mm, okay.
It's just like it's such a monumental venue, and so many artists have touched that stage, and it's amazing.
It's gotta be sold out.
Absolutely sold out.
So let's do something like just imagine like I never been to New York, but you're walking up, you see the bright lights, and it's uh one last dance with Julie. So Madison and sold out. And everybody's in there doing the cha cha.
Okay.
That'd be dope. You should make it
I
happen.
I Hey, I got time now.
So, how'd you learn how to dance in heels like that?
Um, I mean, women wear heels, I will always wear heels. I'm actually clumsier in sneakers. And I'm short, so I always want to wear heels to, add a little bit of height. And in order for me to teach, I had to learn how to do it myself so people can see the proper way, I'm big on that, teach myself, understand my body, because people will have questions because they don't really know how to, a lot of women don't know how to walk in heels, so
Hmm.
I said, all right, if I was wearing heels and I had to walk across the street, this is how I want it to feel. And that's how it all started.
What's your tell everybody where we can find you and tell me your website so I can pin it.
So it's Dance with Julie everywhere, YouTube, so Facebook, Instagram, and my website is dancewithjulie.net.
Dance with Julie dot net. And you like you said, you do virtual. So when we get off this live, we're all gonna go to dancewithjulie.net and we're all gonna take a virtual salsa class with Julie. So I could figure out what to do with my hands while I salsa. Mm. So, if you could change one thing about this phase of your life, right? Like, what would you add or subtract?
Um, oh my gosh. I would, damn, I'm stuck. Um, I would subtract the anxiety that I create, not knowing like how my kids are going to be on their own. And because I know I can't control that, but it still creates anxiety. Um, and I would add spending even more time with my family.
Mm. You mean like your parents?
My parents, my brother, my family that I have in New York. Because, we've been working for so many years that time just goes by and everybody's grown. A lot of my family members have passed, and I never got the opportunity to really spend time with them. Like, I think we had one family reunion that I could remember. So that's one thing I would add.
Mm. Have you ever seen that thing where the guy talks about how he's in conversation with somebody else and he asks him how often he goes to see his parents? Have you ever seen that one?
No.
So, and I'll get it wrong, but you'll get the point. There is one guy he's talking to another guy, and he's like, how old are your parents? And I don't know what age. They were in their 70s or something like that. And he said, well, how often do you go see him? And he says, well, I go see him once a year, for a week or two or whatever the case may be. And his man's is like, well, you do realize that based on their life expectancy, you're only going to see your parents 10 more times in their lifetime.
Yep.
And the
Hmm.
dude is just like what? And so he said what he started doing, instead of going to see his parents once a year, he would go see them 3 or 4 times a year to maximize, the time
Yeah.
that they spend together. And you talking about that, it made me think about that.
Yeah. To me that's very important. I know like working and making money is important, but now that I am pretty much in this empty house, I'm like, damn, I want to be able to spend more time with my family because we really don't know, like, you know.
Mm. So how do you want the world to remember you?
Um, I would like for everyone that I have come across, whether it's in school or work or dancing or activities, for them to remember how I made them feel.
Okay. So what is your intent? What how do you want me to feel? I've met Julie, right? Julie
Right.
comes to the Sam and Chell show 3 times a week. Julie's been on my podcast. How does Julie want me to feel knowing that I have known of Julie's existence on the face of this earth?
So my goal, right, because I need to create that feeling is um somehow, connect with you. Like whether it's with your music or with what you're trying to do with Samuel, like somehow, oh, I remember that girl who used to support our lives and she always had a comment or a funny this or a funny that, or my dance students. Like I remember how she pushed me to excel to the next level. So it puts the responsibility back on me to
Mm,
to have purpose with everyone that I connect with.
mm. I like that. That's why that's one of the reasons I started to do this show, because it's just cool to be able to just sit down and talk to people about things that they're interested in and hear
Mm,
their perspectives, and all. It's just cool to me. Be like, wow, I never thought of it that way. Or
yeah.
you would never go into a podcast thinking like, we're gonna have a 2 minute conversation about this rug.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
But it
true.
means,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But it means that
Yeah.
much to you. It's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. And now I'm thinking like, damn, if I get a rug, I'm gonna probably have to figure out how to put the little joints on there too to keep
I
it down.
am looking at it like, okay, I got it now.
That joint is peeking at
But
you.
Yeah, but I think it's important, at least for me now, to whoever I meet or whoever I connect with, I try to be helpful, um, go out of my way to make someone's life a little easier, even if it's making a phone call for them. I don't know, whatever it is. But um, I think that I was put on here to touch however many people I can. And that's what I try to do. And I try to live, by a more positive light. Now I can, okay, because I'm a Scorpio, so I can go the other direction. And I would still want you to remember me, even if it's a bad situation, simply because I felt strongly about that. And just because we disagreed doesn't mean that I didn't care. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I have some students that are like, you're pushing me way too hard. And I'm like, well, suck it up, do it again, but it's because I feel like when I can push them, they can excel. Maybe they don't see it right now, but I see it. And I try to live by that.
I'm a Scorpio too.
Are
So,
you?
yep,
We're gonna
November
have we're gonna have a virtual birthday party.
everybody else, they make us wait. Oh yeah, we sit through all the Leos, Libras, and
Cancers, all of them, but
Capricorns and all of that. But boy, when them Scorpios show up, people,
yeah,
I don't
they
know
they
why. It's so good.
they they hate that they love us.
Is
That's
that
what
what it
it is.
is?
That is what it is. Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
Yeah,
They
Scorpios
they
are loyal.
they don't want us, but they need us. Yeah.
They be like, let me call my Scorpio, Frank. You know why though? I find that people come to me when they want. Oh, I'm sorry, Keisha. Can't forget about the Virgos. Virgos are really cool too. Aries are cool. My wife's a Leo, so I love the Leos. Um, I find that people call me when they want like the hardcore truth. If they want it, if they now I've learned to validate, but that's not natural. But when someone wants to know the hardcore truth,
Yeah.
and I answer the phone, I'm like, yo, and they like, yo, I need an opinion. I already know, like, they're not looking for
Yeah.
fluff,
They're
none of that.
not, nope. They're not looking for, like, I always tell my students, like, the word amazing is being tossed around a little too much nowadays. Like, let's get real, okay? Things could be good, something could be great, but amazing. So when people want the honest truth, they will call me and be like, all right, what do you think? And I'll be like, you sure? All right, here we go.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I do it. I'll be like, all right, you sure you want my opinion on this?
Yeah.
Because it's about to get brutal. It's about to be a
Yeah.
massacre around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keisha said her BFF for 20 years is a Scorpio, so she's used
Yeah,
to it.
we are extremely loyal. Actually, I feel like that sometimes could be like something we got to deal with because we are extremely loyal. Like, we'll go to war for whoever is, in our circle. And, that's how I am. Even though, might get burned, that's just how I am.
You know, they say something, and I don't know if it's true, but I heard this about like scorpions, like the actual scorpions, that if they think that they are going to be killed by some other thing, they'll try and find a way to kill themselves. Like they're so much in their mind, they're like, no, I'd rather me beat me than have you beat me.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna give you the
I'm
satisfaction.
going out. I'm going out my own way. Yeah, I got to.
You got me at checkmate, right? But I'm about to do this
Yeah.
one last move.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. And actually, how it's funny that you say that because my mind, I process things like that a lot, and I'm a big planner and I'm like, all right, worst case scenario, this was gonna happen. You're gonna go out how you want to go out. And I will stay in silence for a long time until I'm like, all right, it's my go.
yeah, that's how I am. I'm a cop, so I think of these extreme circumstances. I won't
Hmm.
do L's, but I'll be like, if it's ever an L and I have the opportunity to control my loss, I will take
Yeah.
my loss on my own terms.
Yep.
And you deal with the
Absolutely.
fact you might have won, but you didn't win all the way.
That's right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So at the end of my show, sometimes it lasts another 20 minutes, but I have this segment, top five dead or alive. So you're gonna tell me
Okay.
the top five people, dead or alive, real or fictional, that you would like to sit down and have a one-on-one intimate conversation with.
Okay.
They don't have
Top
to be.
five.
They don't have to be famous. Just your top. They're your top five.
Yeah. 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 My top five. Um, my top five.
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce.
Really? I'm
Yes.
trying to think. I know Jay-Z gets mentioned often because everybody wants to know the billionaire secrets. I'm not sure I've had Beyonce, but why? Why be? Are you part of the Beehive?
A little bit. But think about it. Like, who got Jay-Z secrets?
Beyonce.
There you go. So why would I want to talk to him when I can talk to her and she can like really go deep? You know what I mean? But I would want to talk to her because, she's I think she's extremely strategic with her career.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just want to sit there and learn like how her mind works, how she deals with the stress, etc. Like that would be one person. Um, the second person I would want to talk to is Obama.
Obama. Okay, yeah, he comes up quite
Yeah.
often. What do you ask Obama?
Um, I would ask him what made him like really and truly what made him run for president, and did he ever think that he would change this country? Like, did he have a image in his mind, or was he absolutely 100 confident that he could really change this country? Like,
Well, I got you.
yeah,
Who else you
yeah.
got?
Um, I would want to talk to. I would want to talk to Nas.
That's my guy. You know, Nas is the goat in my opinion.
I would want to talk to Nas and just get a glimpse of what he went through, in his life. I mean, I know they have like the biographies or whatever, but like just to sit, it seems like he would be a very humble and around the way dude to just sit and have a conversation with.
What's your What's your favorite Nas song?
The one with Lauryn Hill.
I Ruled the World.
If
Okay.
I rule the world.
What do they call it? Discography that well? You know his albums that well?
Sort of. I mean,
I mean,
I'm sure that
what do you know? Do you know what your favorite Nas album is?
Illmatic.
Illmatic.
Mhm.
Illmatic is definitely time. Illmatic changed hip hop.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, it did.
Yeah. Did you see
Hmm.
Time is Illmatic?
No.
You should watch it. It's on it was on Prime. I bought it because I'm a Nas guy.
Oh, okay, okay,
And
yeah.
years ago he was here in DC at the Kennedy Center and he performed
Okay.
with an orchestra. And I'm not a regrets kind of person, but if I could go back, I would have went and saw that. But I
Oh,
did go see him perform at I think it was at George Mason University.
okay,
And
nice.
it was so weird.
Yeah, I
Like
wish they would bring back the intimate concerts.
mhm.
Um, I forgot what they're called, but I wish they would bring that back because it's a whole different vibe than just being at a arena or a big stadium or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, Nasty Nas. Nas is the GOAT. Who else you got?
Hmm.
You got two more.
I got two more. Um, I would talk to my high school dance teacher who passed away a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay. You want to tell me what that would be about, or is that a private conversation?
No, I would want to know, 'cause, I looked up to her for so many years, and then like her life took a very, very sharp turn. And one day she was here, and the next day she was gone. And I would like to know like what happened. You know when you look up to somebody, and then all of a sudden like they're at the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, and you want to help, but you don't even know how. Um, and that's that I think there was drugs related, and she just didn't seem like the person that would go out like that.
Uh,
So that's who, yeah, I would definitely want to talk to her and be like, how did this happen? But because we never know, but she was such an inspiration throughout high school, and I was like, I want to be like her, when I graduate and dance and all this stuff. And yeah, she passed away.
okay. Who's number five?
Number five, dead or alive,
Dead or alive, real or fictional?
real or fictional. Michael Jackson. Absolutely would want to talk to Michael Jackson.
Is Mike the greatest dancer of all time?
Yes.
What would you want to talk to Mike about? Or you just going in there to steal his moves?
No. I would just want to know like about his life. And again, I know there's tons of stories and everything, but I would like somebody who changed the world, in the industry and entertainment and with music. I
Hmm.
really would like to be a fly on the wall and just listen to not how he lived, but like what was in his mind, what he thought about.
Yeah, MJ's that's a good one. I think he's one that
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people kind of want it. They want, like you said, to get that inside information and
Yeah,
why the way
definitely.
you do great. What
Yeah.
do
What makes him, right? What makes him so great? That thought process. Like I feel like he walks in a room and he has a totally different mentality than everybody else in the room.
yeah, yeah. Hey, so you got Beyonce, Obama, Nas, your dance teacher, and Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
All great people. So I appreciate you sitting down with me.
Thank
I
you.
It's been very enlightening. But before we go, I always give my guests an opportunity to ask me a question because I've picked your brain for the past hour. So
Okay.
if it's something that you want to ask me, this is your moment to do so.
Okay, yes, I want to ask, why am I just finding out about your music career? And did you put it in the back burner?
You are just finding about my music career because we really just met through Sam.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you want background on the music, I can give you that. Um, but I started making music in the early 2000s. And I think it climaxed with being on the real.
Yeah.
Um, I was on the real, and then I was on the real in January of 2015. It aired in February of 2015, and I dropped God's Lyricist in May of 2015. So I went on the real. I had already recorded the whole album for God's Lyricist, so close to it. And then off of that, people started hitting me up like, "Yo, I want to give you a beat. I want to give you a beat." So I kind of added to it a little bit, and I think that I think that. Do I want to say this?
You don't have to.
No, it's cool. It's cool. I'm pretty much an open book. I think that going on the real was the validation that I had always sought in terms of being an artist.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure, you think that you want a certain level of success, and we do, but that's really ancillary because what we really want is freedom, right?
Right.
That's
Mm-hmm.
really when you break down your dreams, almost all of us have the same dream, which is the ability to be free enough to do the things we want to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we take the things that we're good at and we use those things as conduits or vessels to get to that freedom, right? So once I was validated, I didn't have that much of a burning desire to continue making music. And with God's lyricist, I'm not a producer in terms of making beats, but like I put a lot into that joint. Like I
Oh, okay.
recorded that joint in my house. I mixed it, I mastered it. I'm not an engineer, none of that stuff. So it took so much out of me after all of that. I found it difficult to say, I'm going to go back in and make another album. Now, people hit me up and they like, when another album coming out, I'm like, man, I need a team. I need a team for that. And so,
Right.
it's a lot. But I'm open to the idea. I just got to assemble Voltron and put it all together. So that's
Yeah.
kind
So I think you should absolutely show your music, play your music. Like when you do your inspirational videos, use your music. I was listening to, I was like, look at this. Like it's amazing. And more people, especially now how social media just connects, the world. More people should hear your music, and your artistry, and now it all makes sense, how you're so good with words, and um like your mind thinks so quickly and you put things together. So when I was listening to, I was like, this makes perfect sense. So that's just my opinion. Like I think people should hear about, I think you should plug every day, like go download the album, every time you talk about, your merchandise and everything, because it's amazing. It really is.
I appreciate that. The only reason that I don't use it in the reels is because I'm playing a different game, right? I'm appeasing an algorithm, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
The music, and that's something I've learned, is the music that you pick to put behind your reel can elevate the amount of people that see it.
I have no
So
idea.
unknown artist. So to put an unknown artist doesn't check the box that the algorithm is looking for. So when you post a reel now and you go to the new releases, when Beyonce album first came out, the
Yeah.
first 12 tracks was all Beyonce. So if I go in there and put in Chels, they're like, oh nah,
Well, I still think that when you do your lives every day, throw it in there, because I'm sure a lot of people would like to hear. And I mean, I came across it, because you mentioned it, but when I use whatever system I use, like Apple Music or whatever, it's not gonna just pop up, It's almost like you gotta search for it, which
yeah.
now I have it, so now I'm good. But there are a lot of other people who get on here that probably never thought that you did this. Like, and it's good. Listen, I know a lot of rappers. Your stuff is good, okay? Your stuff
Thank
is good.
well, Nas, I'm like a Nas disciple. So people who listen to Nas and they hear me and they be like, yo, you
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't want to say nothing, but
yeah.
yes, yes. And you know what, too? I felt a little Jadakiss in there, and one of the tracks I felt a little Jay-Z, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I listen to the words,
Mm-hmm.
not just the beat, and like your message is so like empowering and enlightening. It's different than all the stuff that we hear now, so I just think it's great, and more people need to know.
Yeah, I appreciate it. People, because I'm in social media and stuff like that. People will have conversations with me, and then they'll find out like, yo, you got music? I was like, yeah,
Mm,
my music. Oh,
yeah,
my last album 7 years old. And then they listen to it. They be like, when the next one coming out? Like, I don't know.
yeah.
I'm
It
fine,
was really dope.
you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. And I think you should absolutely talk about it, because even I think the lady from Ohio, she even said she didn't know, and she's always on here.
Yeah, she talked to me and Sam every day. Yeah, a lot of people don't know because I don't, like I said, I don't really talk about it that much. the music that I have to give you, for the most part, is a relic of the past in my mind. And people have told me, they're like, yeah, but it's new to other people, and the things you talk about are always going to be applicable. So you need to keep pushing it. And I should be like, I got this podcast for you. Got a t-shirt.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But do you have your album title on your t-shirt?
I do have a t-shirt with
okay.
I do have a t-shirt with God's Lyricist. I don't have a t-shirt with Parallel Universe, but that is a good idea. Maybe I'll put that on the website. Actually, and I can sell out through the website too.
Okay, then. I think you should. I mean, it's about time that people's, I mean, in my opinion, I think in general, like if you're a talented person, people should see, you know, all aspects of, you know, if you're proud of it, you know, of what you got to offer.
Yeah, but maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll go in there this week and put some of my album stuff on. I got a group album too, and my brother-in-law, I'm gonna plug his album. Go to Apple Music and look up "Hustle and Motivate" DJ Shane. I have 2 verses on there. So if you want the latest Chills verses, that's the latest thing that came out this year.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
Julie, I appreciate you sitting down with me. I've enjoyed our conversation. I wish you all the best in your new phase of life. Is there anything else we should know before we go?
I will be on your chat to learn about dating, because that's part of my new phase, is to learn. So I'll be on there taking notes, giving Sam a little bit of static.
You and Sam be going at it, yo. That's funny. You and Sam, y'all be having it out, and I just be sitting there.
Yeah, laughing.
Then y'all looking at me like, "What you think?" I'm like, "I ain't got nothing deep for y'all."
Yeah, but I appreciate it, because you know it's a learning process. I think everything is now a learning process for me. So to have that resource is amazing.
Cool. Well, if you need anything, hit me up. Like I said, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna sign up for the salsa class. I'm gonna do the salsa.
Because we gotta work those hands and that wobbly. No. So yes, please.
All right, Julie. Peace.
ASAP. Thank you. Bye.
Later.